A local filmmaker is making a movie and just landed a pretty big star for it.
So the movie is a documentary about space. It's called The Eagle Obsession. Shayla Reaves is with the writer and producer of the film this morning. Hey, Shayla.
Hey, good morning to you, Heather and AJ. This is really a nod to childhood and an obsession with space for Jeffrey Morris. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
How does it feel for you? I mean, when you were growing up, when you thought about space, when you thought about really Space 1999, the show, that was really an inspiration for you getting to the place that we are with this new documentary.
Absolutely. You know, it started out, I was like 7 years old when I saw this show. First time. It was back in like 1975, and it really hit me. You know, this show was set 25 years in the future, so being 1999, I thought, I did the math and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grow up to live in the world that's in that show, something like that, right? Yes. The idea of living on the moon, traveling into space, that sort of thing. So I think for me and millions of other people around the world, we were all very inspired by not only the real things that were happening with NASA at the time, but also the science fiction shows like Star Trek, Space 1999, that sort of thing. And that's, you know, yeah.
And if we asked you as a kid, you wanted to be an astronaut, right?
Absolutely, yeah, I absolutely did.
Yes,
yeah.
But now you've grown up to be able to tell the stories and interview some of the folks that have made it to space. Tell us about the new documentary, The Eagle Obsession, that you're working on. The Eagle is a beloved fictional spacecraft that was featured in that British TV program Space 1999,
yes.
right?
Yeah. So I saw this spaceship, and it reminded me a lot of the real hardware NASA was using at the time, but it was projected into the future, right? So me and, like, I don't know, all my friends, we were all super into this little sci-fi spaceship. And for over 50 years, for about almost 50 years, we've all like been collecting them, and people have been building models of them. There's even a guy in Denmark who's built an enormous 25-foot one in his backyard that I showcase in the documentary. And the whole point for me was like, why do so many people have this obsession with this old sci-fi spaceship? Well, I think it turns out that it connects to this future that we all thought we were going to grow up to live in.
And to tell this story in this documentary, you've got all kinds of incredible star power. You've spoken to astronauts for this. But who are you talking to next week?
Well, I'm talking to William Shatner next week. Yeah, actually, we're going to be doing an interview with Captain Kirk himself, which is pretty exciting. So
when you think back to childhood and getting to talk to Captain Kirk himself, is there like a part of you on the inside that's really lighting up about this one?
I'm pretty blown away. I mean, not only am I going to get to work with William Shatner and just be one-on-one with just me and him, but we're also shooting in a recreation of the sets from the original Star Trek. So we're actually going to be me and William Shatner inside the Enterprise, which is going to be pretty cool.
And incredible. I can't wait to talk to you further about some of the exciting things attached to this film, including, AJ and Heather, where we're located right now. This is incredible. This is a Minneapolis studio that created a virtual backdrop that Jeffrey's been able to use and incorporate into his filmmaking process. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Also, we're going to talk about his connection to Film North and some of the pretty cool things he's been able to do with the fifth graders there, and spacecrafts and building and creating. I know you're excited about talking about those things.
Absolutely.
Yes, so we'll talk about that and how Film North is helping him with that final push to raise some money to get this in front of an audience coming up fall of 2025.
Yeah. I had noticed how cool your background is and what a neat space that is. But Shayla, I gotta admit, that is no Enterprise.
Yes.
It is very cool to go into the Enterprise with William Shatner.
I mean, you talk about a full circle moment for him itself. That's awesome to think about. All right, Shayla, we'll check with you a little bit later. Thank you.
A local filmmaker is working on a documentary about space.
And the movie just landed a huge star as well. William Shatner, anyone? Shayla Reaves is with the writer and producer this morning to tell us more about this. Shayla, good morning.
Good morning to you, AJ and Heather. Certainly an exciting time, and this documentary project started last year and it continues to roll along. I'm here right now with Jeffrey Morris to talk a little bit about this process. I'm seeing the smile on your face because you are really living in your element with this childhood fascination with space, and now you're full on with this new project.
Absolutely, yeah. We're here at this virtual stage in Minneapolis, DNN Studios, where we're basically using this LED screen, and this will be part of the documentary where we've recreated one of the planet environments of the show Space 1999. That's going to be showcased in the documentary. So we'll actually be able to feel like we're on that actual planet. And it's cool to use this kind of technology.
And this is technology that you said they use in all kinds of films in Hollywood.
Yes, yeah. It's been developed kind of like the Star Wars TV shows, things like that, and it's been developed a lot over the last few years, and it's pretty amazing to get to use it for this.
And to get to use it right here in Minnesota.
Yep.
Your film, The Eagle Obsession, you've got some incredible star power. Next week you'll be interviewing the one and only William Shatner.
That's true. Yes, very exciting.
How do you feel about that, thinking back to childhood and now?
Oh, like I said, I'm so excited to have a chance to meet these childhood heroes and actually tell this story. And the fact that it's not just me, but again, millions of people around the world all dreamt of this future that we kind of haven't gotten to yet. And I think by telling the story, we're going to help reinvigorate it and get people, we're going back to the moon now. And it's been over 50 years, and it's pretty exciting to document this.
And one of the great pieces of all of this, you've had a chance to work with some students at University Avenue, fifth graders, to share your fascination with space with them. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we pulled together this amazing group of kids from University Avenue Elementary School in Blaine, and we took them to a place called Starbase, Minnesota. And what I did is basically I showed them these vehicles and everything from this show from 50 years ago, and they just ate it up. They loved it. And then I had them design and create their own versions of the spacecraft. And these are all this is an aerospace magnet. So these kids they're going to grow up to be the next generation of aerospace engineers and scientists and astronauts. So it's pretty cool. And they're going to be showcased in the movie.
That's incredible. Before we let you go, Film North, a big piece of how you're raising some of your funds to bring this to the screen, to make it possible for others to see it. Your last push here, it's about $100,000 that you're trying to raise. And where do you hope to premiere next year?
We hope to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival next fall of 2025, which will be the 50th anniversary of this show. And then if people are interested in helping us out, they can contribute at Film North. Just look up The Eagle Obsession, and you'll see there. You'll see a teaser. You can see all kinds of stuff about the project.
All right, incredible. Before we let you go, quickly, when you look at where you started, kid, when you look at where you are now, what do you feel?
I have to tell you, it's a little overwhelming, the fact that I'm getting to interact with these kinds of people and tell this sort of story, and I'm truly honored and humbled to be able to produce this film and get it out there.
All right, thank you so much, Jeffrey. Heather and AJ, I'll go ahead and send it back to you guys.
That is so cool. Not only that, but then I love the fact that he's inspiring other kids to do the same thing, to follow in his journey, and they can kind of create their own future. So great stuff.
So after the film festival, then we'll get to be able to see it next year. All right, Shayla, thank you.